Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker is now just 16 days away from its official release by writer and director J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio, as well as creator George Lucas. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, one thing about Episode 9 that a lot of fans are very excited about and also very worried about is, of course, exactly how they are going to utilize the entire film and how it connects to the past 8 Star Wars movies, since this film went through many different changes and adjustments throughout the months of August, September, and October. Now, in case you guys did not know, Episode 9 is a very important film by Disney and Lucasfilm because it truly will determine the future of the franchise and exactly where things will stand after the release of this movie and how everything is going to be done for the new Star Wars trilogy, the live-action TV series on Disney+, and a whole lot more. You know, we've seen a great example of what happened with Solo: A Star Wars Story's box office and how that led to the cancellation of over 10 years' worth of Star Wars movies. So with that being said, one unfortunate aspect of Episode 9 has all to do with one of the major changes by Disney, Lucasfilm, and Kathleen Kennedy that involve some of the core characters in the story and within the Skywalker saga. Now, specifically, it's explained that through many of the reshoots and rewrites for the film during the months of August, September, and October is when many changes and adjustments were made to the second and third acts of the film. It's explained that Disney did this to provide a different tone for the film and to cater to a general audience. It said that the many changes led to the cancellation of many scenes, where Disney deleted key sequences in the third act of the film, and even in the second act of Episode 9. It said that one of the sequences that were deleted from the film was said to involve a moment with Kenobi and Yoda's Force Ghosts appearing in the film, where they would also teach Rey a lesson during her time in the Prime Jedi Temple. It said that this scene was completely cut from Disney, and that it even involved Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan Kenobi, where some CGI and makeup work was done to make him appear more like Sir Alec Guinness from the original trilogy era. It's explained that this massive change came from Disney and Lucasfilm wanting to change the film's tone and to provide more screen time for other characters in the film, and that by cutting both Kenobi and Yoda, portrayed by McGregor and Frank Oz, they decided to reduce them also to only becoming a Force Ghost voice in the third act of the film, when they help Rey with the other Force Ghosts of the past. It's said that one of the other scenes that were cut for both Kenobi and Yoda involved a sequence in which they would actually show up in the netherworld of the Force and appear in front of both Rey and Kylo Ren, teaching them a lesson about the Force in general. It said that this scene was also cut that included heavy CGI work as well as intense visual effects for the characters appearing as Force Ghosts. So let's go over a couple of parts about this and as to why, in my point of view, this really is a major failure on Disney and Lucasfilm's part once again. Now, like I say, we do know that The Rise of Skywalker is a very important movie, not just to them, but also to us, the Star Wars community, because it really will determine how we view the entire sequel trilogy in its entirety. And based on what some fans have seen and heard, a lot of people are having a lot of mixed feelings about this film and exactly what's going to be presented by Disney and Lucasfilm. So I want to go over this scenario here, this situation where they deleted the moments between both Kenobi and Yoda's Force Ghosts. You guys may recall we were talking about this about 6 months ago, where Disney and Lucasfilm had a plan in place to create Ewan McGregor to appear just like Sir Alec Guinness by using makeup and CGI work on his face to give him a more older appearance and design. Now, that was actually yet another missed opportunity. They could have done something so amazing with the character of Obi-Wan Kenobi and even the, return of Yoda as we last saw him in The Last Jedi. I honestly think it would have been a very interesting experience to see exactly what Yoda would have been like through JJ's perception, how JJ would have handled the character of Yoda. A lot of fans were a little on and off about Rian Johnson's portrayal of Yoda, how he felt a little off character and how the appearance of Yoda was a little off as well. Some, people expressed that. So, with Obi-Wan Kenobi and Yoda's scenes also cut from the film and reducing them to only becoming Force Ghost voices, I think is yet again another big mistake on Disney and Lucasfilm's part, and is also a major failure. And I think that when we look at The Rise of Skywalker, right, in its entirety, this movie does have a lot going for itself. It does still have a chance to mark itself down as the best of the sequel trilogy and better than that of The Last Jedi. Like I say, The Last Jedi hit rock bottom where there's nowhere else to go but up at this point. How much further up is the big question, right? So this movie, like I say, a lot of reshoots and rewrites were responsible for these changes back in August, September, and October. Even J.J. Abrams confirmed this on Good Morning America, that they shot all the way until late October of this year is when they finally, were able to wrap up filming and to move on to the last phase of post-production. But during the month of November is when they were resetting specific scenes, and essentially what that means is they were taking some scenes out and putting new ones in where George Lucas was on board helping them and guiding them, basically, kind of bring them on the right path, and even that, they didn't allow specific scenes that they had initially shot for the previous cut of the movie to make its way over to the final cut of Episode 9. So the other part that I do want to jump into here is that the Prime Jedi Temple originally was supposed to be a very core part of the plot of Episode 9. It was actually said to be a part of Rey's personal mission, where she would then, confront the original Force ghosts of Yoda, Anakin, Kenobi, so on and so forth, that teach her the ways of the ancient Jedi. Now, the fact that they cut that scene, I think, is a missed opportunity as well, because that, yet again, deducts the amount of Star Wars lore that we're going to get when it comes to the Jedi, the Sith, and the Force in general, and how it really all combines itself together in Episode 9. So this movie, it does, have a lot going. It does have a lot of Sith lore still intact, as well as Jedi and Force lore, but they're reducing the amount that they will be demonstrating in this movie, and it only gives me flashbacks to what happened with The Last Jedi, where originally they were going to have a lot of Jedi and Sith lore. In fact, in some of the promos, it even said that we would be learning about ancient mysteries of the past, and that never really came out and about because of some of, the scenes that they cut from the movie. Again, remember that The Last Jedi, Rian Johnson said that originally it was 3.5 hours long before they reduced it to 2 hours and change. Now, for The Rise of Skywalker, it was 4 hours and something, and they actually reduced it to what it is now for the running time. So you can only imagine the possibility of, the other cuts of the movie and exactly what it was like in comparison to the finalized version of Episode 9 that we will be getting in theaters in just a little over 2 weeks. Can you believe that? Just a little over 2 weeks until The Rise of Skywalker makes its way into theaters. Now, of course, we got the premiere on the 11th over in January. We've got the actual the premiere over here in the States, I believe, in Los Angeles on the 16th. So it really ain't that far away. So Obi-Wan Kenobi really is a core character, just as much as a core character as Anakin and Yoda, and I think it really is a big mistake on Disney and Lucasfilm's part to delete the appearances of Force ghosts other than Luke and Leia. I don't know why Disney is just sticking with Luke and Leia only. It kind of just doesn't make too much sense to me. You guys may recall what we went over just a couple of weeks ago also, is that originally Anakin Skywalker's Force Ghost was supposed to show up at the very end of Episode 9 on the world of Tatooine. And that was going to be a big part of The Rise of Skywalker, is that originally Anakin would appear on Tatooine, and that was also cut to the point where he is now just a Force Ghost voice, and that's that. So the last thing I just want to go over here real quick is, of course, the Netherworld of the Force. In case you guys did not know, they also cut all of the Netherworld scenes that would have shown us exactly where the Force ghosts go and exactly what that would actually look like on the big screen. So this is yet again another big, mistake by Disney and Lucasfilm by kind of reducing the exciting elements of Episode 9 that a lot of fans were looking forward to seeing. All these different cameos in physical form and all these different environments that were cut from the film, such as the Netherworld and the flash fights that would have brought us back to Mustafar and Naboo and all those amazing locations in the Star Wars universe that would have actually had both Rey and Kylo Ren fighting to the death on board of, the second Star Destroyer, or should I say the second Death Star, and fighting each other to the death and transporting to other planets as they fight in the flash fights. So that would have been quite amazing, to be honest, and the fact that those were cut, I think, is yet another letdown for me as a fan personally, and I'm sure for a lot of other fans out there as well. So, with that being said, guys, I would like to hear what you have to say about all this below in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.